Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Blue-Black Tempo with Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. We've got our Orcish Bowmasters to disrupt our combo player opponents and one-ring enthusiasts. We've got Nethergoyf to just beat face early and often. We've got Tamiyo to potentially flip and draw half our deck. And we have this really cool card, Mockingbird, which can come in as a copy of any of those creatures, including our two Brazen Borrowers, and just help us close out the game. This is essential for helping us get Orcish Bowmaster Supremacy, which is essential for winning. This deck is incredibly disruptive. We've got the 4 Thoughtseize, 4 Wasteland, 4 Daze, 4 Force of Will, 4 Fatal Push. We are not going to countenance any sort of combo with this deck. And I think we'll have a decent match against fair decks too. We have really good mana. Pretty much everything, literally everything can be cast off of just an island and a swamp in our entire deck. We can use any color for the other pip of Kaito. We do need a second blue to cast Brazen Borrower, but that's it. So we can play very well under Blood Moon or under Harbinger of the Seas, which we have a couple of in the sideboard. These are good for lands matchups. They're good against Beanstalk. Pretty solid cards. Got 4 Force of Negation, just anti-combo. I can't stress this enough. You need to be ready for Oops All spells, for Reanimator, for Omnitell, decks like that. We've got the 3 Hydroblast. These are good against red decks. They're good against Delver. Speaking of good against Delver, we're rocking the full 4 now Spellbombs. I love this card because not only does it clear your opponent's graveyard, non-conditionally just clears it completely, but you can even cantrip through it. So it gets in your graveyard and it makes Nethergoyf even bigger because it's an artifact type. And then we have one other artifact that's very good against Chalice decks because we play a lot of 1-drops and we do not want Chalice of the Void locking us out. So we have 2 Engineered Explosives. These are also very good against constructs, and they can come in against like Karnforge type decks as well. So that's the deck. It's very simple. I've played it dozens of times before on the channel, but it's really good. I just did a video with it. I 4-1'd and it was very close to a 5-0. And I think we can potentially do something comparable right now. So I'm going to go ahead and enter, and let's see you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against Joe L, Omnitell Extraordinaire. I like this hand a lot. We get on the board and we just keep swinging. We have Force, blue card. We're hopefully going to find some Thoughtseizes as well. That's probably the best card in our deck against them. But just getting out there and hitting with Nethergoyf a whole lot does a lot. What do you know? They're not on Omnitell. They're on something else. Well, I'm going to let this happen. They have played a lot of Omnitell lately. I mean, this actually could be that deck. Yeah, they have 2 Thoughtseizes in there. So it's like kind of like a multicolor Omnitell pile. Is it just blue-black? That's it? Okay, interesting. They've got Beseech the Mirror, likely Yggdrasil, the Rebirth Engine. It's a cool card. 2 Omniscience. Shieldred the Apocalypse, which is a card they can actually cast pretty early on. Yeah, it's interesting they chose black as the splash color, but it makes sense because they want to be able to Thoughtseize and clear our interaction. Now they know that we have this Daze here. That does make our offensive a little weaker. Brazen Borrower, not the best card to be casting against them. I'm not afraid of this Nethergoyf dying, so I think I should keep my options open. As far as fetching, I'll just play this out. We can fetch next turn. We can go get a Surveil if we don't have anything else going on. Yeah, I haven't played against this build before. I mean, this is an opportunity for us to Daze and slow them down. If they have like a fetch, this could be pretty good. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to take it while I can. I know it's kind of like questionable. They don't seem to have like any Spirit Guides or anything. Okay, so they would have gotten like a perfect Brainstorm, and being able to deny them cantrips is useful for sure. I think I'm just going to go get the Surveil land here. I'll play out a land they've seen before. We're going to hope to Surveil something into the yard that makes our Nethergoyf bigger. Undercity Sewer. That makes our... Yeah, I mean, I think that's worth it to do more damage. If they one ring, do they one ring? They do have 2 1-rings. So just getting them low is pretty good against one ring. They could show and tell as early as next turn. I think if they do, we just put in a land. That'll be a bummer if they have show and tell this early. Usually they have to sculpt to connect to put it together. They do have Beseech, but they don't have anything to beseech. They're not playing Dark Rituals or anything to accelerate. By the way, if you hear my daughter doing piano practice in the background, my kids love to play piano. Okay, they are surveilling here in their main phase. Just getting some card selection. I think that Daze was probably good, considering that they had to do that main phase. Okay, they're Lorien cycling to go get another land. So they get to... they put a Ponder in the graveyard. Okay. Bowmasters is pretty solid. I'm going to go ahead and play this out. I'm going to play this out just in case they... Well, if they show and tell, I can just go fetch. I'll just play this out. I mean, like, there's no point in playing these out. We could save shuffles for later, but I don't know that the game's going to go that long. Any sort of cantrip, I am definitely going to Orcish Bowmasters. And then I have Brazen Borrower as well. But Brazen Borrower is really only good. Yeah, I'll definitely put Bowmaster in if they have show and tell here. Hopefully it's stock up. It is the show and tell. Okay. So we're going to put this Bowmasters in. We ping them. With this trigger on the stack, so they don't have priority, I think I can hold shift and put this on the stack and hold priority. Come on, you're supposed to let me... Okay. I thought I held priority. I guess... Okay, it looks like it did let me hold priority. So I am going to go ahead and just respond right now. And I'm going to borrow this out of play. And hopefully that will stop them from doing anything with it. It may not. They could force from hand for free. Entomb. Okay. So we're going to have to face something big here. Probably a Gristlebrand if they have a reanimation effect. But it's probably not instant speed, so they're going to have to pay mana for it. So they do have Atraxa. Oh, Shallow Grave! Okay. We got a ball game. I think we're probably going to lose. They can draw like a ton of cards here. But they need like something that stops me from bouncing Omniscience out of play, or else they're going to have to do all this again. It was very important that I not give them any instant like sorcery speed interaction time, and I didn't. However, they kept Force, Emrakul, Snow-Covered Island, Shallow... what did they keep? Okay, so I'm going to take note real quick. Shows Emrakul, Force of Will, Stock Up, Chrome Mox, Trot. So they can force my Petty Theft here. Yeah, I think we are dead. They can just Emrakul now. Yeah, we fought the good fight, but they had like a really strong hand. And that Thoughtseize was pretty key too. Yeah, good game. Yeah, they were going to get an extra turn, by the way. So it's not like I could have drawn anything that would have got me out of that. Okay, so this is why we play 4 Force and Negations for this matchup. We just take out our Fatal Pushes. They don't do anything here. I think... Let's take a look at their deck. They're playing Entomb. I don't know if that's a temporary juke or if that's actually like just how they're playing it. But it does make me want to bring in some number of Nile Spellbombs as well. Let's talk about what cards are probably not that good. I think I can cut lands. I think I can cut the Swamp. I don't think that that's going to matter. I don't want to cut Daze. Like every mana we can disrupt is worthwhile. Yeah, it's hard to decide what to take out. I don't really want to take out Kaito. Kaito can like help us win from behind. I could take out the Mockingbird. We're not going to need to... Well... I don't think, like, we're never going to mock one of their creatures. We might be able to mock one of ours. I think this is fine. We have plenty of blue cards. Let's do it. We still have the 14 initial blue sources. We don't have as many black sources. I feel like 18 land is fine. That's a no-lander. That happens even when you have 19 land. This, however, none of these cards are the cards that I substituted in, so we can't say that this would have not happened. But I'm not going to keep this. I'm going to try to find a Thoughtseize hand. Gosh. Yeah. I don't know that we have to go lower. We can't keep a hand. I need to develop. Okay, this is the best hand we've seen. I'm going to keep this. Undercity Sewers goes back. Borrower goes back. It's a later game card. I think Orcish Bowmaster goes back too. It's a good card, of course, but we need to get on the board with Nethergoyf. We probably want to get the Nile Spellbomb out. Yeah, that's really brutal, having to mold a 4. I'm going to go ahead and just get my Nethergoyf on the table. They are playing a lot of non-basics, so Wasteland is live in this matchup. Yeah, and a lot of you might be like, why did you cut your swamp? What were you thinking? Like, first of all, like none of the hands that had the Nile Spell, I cut it for a Nile Spellbomb. So I don't think any of the hands we saw had a Nile Spellbomb but didn't have a land. Okay. So I'm just going to ponder here, try to find a land, and then Spellbomb them. I'll just play it out, and then it'll just park it there. But that covers the explosive side, where they're like Entomb reanimating. All right, that's a good draw. If I can find a Wasteland, I will play that instead of the land, or instead of the Spellbomb. Thoughtseize is great. I do want to play that. I want the Daze. I think what we do is we take the Daze now, and we take the Thoughtseize next turn. That way we can go ahead and play out the Spellbomb. If they force this, then it'll make the Goyf bigger. We're just going to attack for 2. I'm going to be patient. Again, I would be very... I definitely want to draw a card for this. At the very least. I think this is a ponder. They could be looking for land here. Or, I'm sorry, this is a Daze. Okay. So that's an extra crack we're going to get with another Nethergoyf. Misfail. Do they ever play Daze? I think it's fine to just play this out in Thoughtseize. They have a really strong hand, but it's light on mana. This Misfail is tragically going to come into the tap for them. I think we just take the... So the top card of our deck is actually a... Yeah, I don't see any cards in here that suggest... I'm going to take the Show and Tell, because I don't want them to be able to Show and Tell Omniscience or a monster in. They will be able to stock up eventually. They could ponder and Thoughtseize immediately in the same turn cycle, but I think that's totally fine. The top card is a land. It makes sense to just go ahead and draw through, and maybe they Thoughtseize me to try to... I don't know that they even Thoughtseize me. What are they Thoughtseizing me for? I'm going to take the Show and Tell. I'm going to go ahead and hit their yard so I can get a more buff Nethergoyf. This is risky, but I want to maximize the damage. We're pretty much all in on killing with Nethergoyf here. It's a very good plan, considering that they have Thoughtseize in their hand. And I say it's a very good plan. I'm complimenting myself, but basically, yeah, that's fine. You get a ponder. So they're down 1 Thoughtseize. Or, I'm sorry, they're down 1 Show and Tell. Next turn, they can stock up. They probably don't want to play this Mistrise Village out at all if they can avoid it. I'm hoping that they Thoughtseize here. Please Thoughtseize me. All right. That works great for us. Hopefully they don't have an Entomb hand. If we draw a Daze here, they're probably not going to have the mana to... Oh, that's great. And we can hardcast it. Let's go ahead and come in for a hug. Yeah, I think the odds of them actually using Misfail are low. So if I can hit a stock up, that's great. So they have Omniscient, stock up, 1 unknown. This has been the best mold of 4 ever. That was insane. Okay, 2 more cracks. 2 more turns. They can stock up. Holy cow. That's freaking good. Nethergoyf is so good in this matchup. That's what I keep telling people. Nethergoyf is so freaking good at just being down turn 1 and being there to keep pushing them. They can stock up, but they can't do anything else. They need land plus Show and Tell plus something crazy. Ponder. I don't know they have any interaction in their entire deck that can stop us. They have Long Goodbye. I can bring him back next turn. We have plenty of card types. He won't be huge. He probably won't kill him in 1 turn. But he will be back. A mull to freaking 4. That felt awesome. I'm so glad I captured that. That is the power of just tempoing and getting good top decks too, frankly. That Force Negation was very necessary. They got good. They found their Show and Tell, which is, aberrationally lucky, but it's not incredibly lucky. Do we feel like putting the land back in? I feel like I'm so scared to not have the land in because we had to mull 3 times there because of no land. But really, I do think 18 land, they're not doing anything to our land. This is no worse than Delver. Delver is 18 by default, right? And our curve is so low, it's not even funny. We could take out a Kaito. Well, putting Kaito in off Show and Tell. No, you can't put Kaito in off Show and Tell. Maybe I just talked myself out of the Kaito. And let's take these out. Let's put in a Swamp and a Nile Spellbomb. They may just not do the Entomb thing at all. We didn't see any evidence they had Entomb in there. But if they do pivot to it to try to like be faster, we want to be there to stop them. Yeah, I hope I don't flood as a result of my timidness. Kaito doesn't really do a lot. He digs. He does some damage. Really, the key card in this matchup is Orcish Bowmasters, and the other key card is Nethergoyf. All right, please don't make me mulligan into oblivion this game. I worked really hard for that other one. My deck owes me nothing. Joel owes me nothing, but this is a very good hand. It's a forced blue card hand. Plenty of land. We can surveil. I'm going to snap keep this. They mull. I don't ever let them know I'm snap keeping when I snap keep. I always like wait for a second. So I'll tell a joke. This came up in my other video. It's the best joke I've got. No, never mind. I'm not going to tell that joke. I think I've told this joke. Never mind. I'm not going to waste your time with a bad joke. Let's just keep. We successfully delayed. And I kept you delaying with me. I could have just shut up and the auto editor software that I use would have like just chopped that part out. Pluto Delta. Fetch. Don't Thoughtseize me. One of the strengths of their deck is that they do play Thoughtseize. Trop. Carpet? Yes, that's fine. All right, well, I happen to have access to a little land that is not an island. The only one in my deck, but it's in my hand, fortuitously. Unfortunately, this does mean we don't have Daze, but I think it's worth it. You don't want to give them mana, period. We're going to get on board. Next turn, we can play out the Misty. We'll have Daze up, and we can play out the Nethergoyf. I think I probably actually do need to go ahead and crack next turn, though, just so I can do some damage. Feed their carpet. There is another option that I don't really like, which is just to... I don't think we're winning games where we're not fetching and brainstorming. Yeah, we're going to give them a mana, but I think it's okay. It makes our days worse. We'll probably force pitch Daze. Could Tomio, but I genuinely think Tomio is a force pitch to force. I'm going to play this out first. It sucks to have to brainstorm here, but I do think it's correct. The other alternative is I could just Undercity Sewer here. Yeah, I'm gonna go and brainstorm. Gosh, these are terrible. Okay, well, next turn we have a Wasteland. I'll put this back. Yeah, I don't want to be cracking. I'll probably just crack this to shuffle without actually getting the land out. That sucks really bad, though. Let's go in for our hug for 2. Better than nothing. They're going to get mana. We can Daze. We can force. We can Daze the Undercity Sewer or the Underground Sea back into our hand and just not play it out again. Maybe I should have just taken 1 damage and been patient there. Leave a comment with the timestamp if you think so. Finding that Wasteland was pretty clutch. I want to use that next turn, but at the same time, I don't want to draw more bad cards. They get some mana. Too bad I don't have Leovold in my deck. I did have him in like my Bug Beanstalk deck, and he just crushes carpet. Shock it. Pay for it. Yeah. Shieldred. I think we just Daze here. If you want to force that, I'm happy to oblige. You know what I think I'm going to do? Can we kill them from here? I think we cut them off mana. We waste the black source. See, that shuts off their reanimation plan. What did they use that's even green? I don't see any green in this list. Probably just carpet. Yeah, I think I'm just going to draw these cards, and I'm going to hope that we can kill with Nethergoyf. It's going to take a few turns. But I think denying the mana is good. We can always play these cards out later. I think I actually want to stop the... I mean, this represents Veil of Summer. I'm going to hit that. It sucks, but I think it's correct. And we did just doom ourselves to drawing yet another land that is not very good. But they're low on mana now. They're at 9. Feels so good. I'm going to play out the fetch. Draw another dead card, unfortunately. Play out the fetch. We're going to swing. We just have to fade them having, interaction plus mana for a couple turns. This is okay. This buffs the other one. It slows the clock a little bit. It can't be countered anyway. That's their soul interaction spell. I'm not going to bring him back. I can't bring him back. If they have another long goodbye, we're in pretty big trouble. I think they only played 2 in their deck, though. That's a great rip. All right, don't do it again. Oh, no, they have another one. Shallow Grave. I have to force this. Otherwise, Shielder comes in and blocks. Yeah, I'm just going to force. I have Brainstorm if I absolutely need it. And I could shuffle away bad cards, but they'd have tons of mana after I did that. Dropping to 5. Okay, well, let's think about this. So they're going to be able to kill my Shieldred. Or they're going to be able to kill my Nethergoyf with Shieldred. I think I do want to go ahead and Brainstorm here. There's nothing I can find. I mean, so it has Death Touch anyway. Grab an Underground Sea here. This is they're nearly out of cards. I can shuffle away these 2 Underground Seas. If I can find a Bowmasters, that's pretty good. Okay, I think we just put these 2 back. I'm going to let that resolve. I'm going to force here. Take 3, they drop to 2. I'm going to play this out. I have Force and Negation as my last card. They have 1 turn where they have 3 mana, but they need something to put in. If they get Shielded back, they'll get an attack and they'll gain some life. It's not lifelink. This is a freaking intense match. All right, let's see what we get. I know that we shuffled, right? We did shuffle after that Brainstorm. No, we didn't. I'm such a fool. I'm pretty sure I screwed that up. I'm pretty sure I should have shuffled. It had to be this card, basically. I did deny them some mana, which might have been relevant. Better lucky than good, though, as they say. That was insane. Can you believe we came back from that mold to 4? I thought our goose was cooked, especially because they had this cool graveyard juke. Wow, that was awesome. See you in round 2. Round 2, we're up against another likely Reanimator strategy with a no-lander. Come on, deck. We got 19 lands. Show us some. This is great. I'll snap keep this. So I think we just put back one of the Dazes. Yeah, because Orcish Bowmaster is pretty good. Let's take a look at the list that they were playing. It's just like straight up dedicated Reanimator with Jace Reawaken. Really cool card. Yeah, I had a pretty exciting matchup with this person the other day. Not a lot of lands. 4 Animate Dead. I think on the draw, we're definitely going to put back a Daze. And I'm just going to try to pressure them with Bowmasters. They are a cantrip deck. Yeah, they have the 4 Brainstorm with the 4 Ponderer. They don't have Daze. No, they do have Daze. Okay. I'm going to let this go. I don't really care about this. They do play 3 Wastelands. It is risky to play out a Wasteland here. I think I just play the Delta and chill. Then we have Daze protected. Whatever we need to do. I think I'm going to just be patient though, because once we start sticking these Orcish Bowmasters, they don't have a lot of removal. They've got 2 Fatal Pushes in their deck. It's fine. They flipper. It's not a big deal because Bowmaster denies them being able to ultimate her. 0 Orcish Bowmasters listed there. So sadly, I think it is correct to just get the Swamp here because we do want to be able to resolve our Bowmaster. They may waste our... I don't want to risk getting an Underground Sea unless I draw like an Underground Sea right now. Okay. This does shut off the utility of Daze though. I'm going to play this. Just pass. Wait for them to crack. Then we'll come in. If they tap the Wasteland to do something, then I will have the option of, potentially wasting their Wasteland so they can't hurt me. They have Delta. They're going to pass to end step with no action. They're fetching. Okay. Crack a clue, please. I am going to go get my Underground Sea now, and then I'll waste this next turn so they can't waste me. Doesn't mean they won't have another waste, but I can Daze now to protect. That doesn't work anymore now, so I'm going to force, and I'm going to hope that they don't have any further interaction. Otherwise, I'm like totally screwed here. Maybe they Brainstorm, and then I can... Okay, we're in. They didn't have anything to do with that blue mana. Just ping them here. Now we got our army amassing. All right, and again, they have like 2 Fatal Pushes in their entire 75. They do have... Oh, no, they have 4 pushes total. They're saying, what? They're pondering? You're crazy. You are crazy. Love it. Absolutely love that you're pondering into my Bowmaster here. Just to flip your Tamio. I'll happily take that Tamio off your hands here. It'll take a couple swings. Our best draw is definitely another land, so I can stick another Bowmaster. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do, waste here, for sure. Now I can go ahead and, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and play the second Bowmasters. I'll just get another Underground Sea. You can't disrupt this mana. Blue, black, Bowmasters. We'll just hit the Tommy. And now she is going to die in combat, and it is glorious. This is like a N for 1 in terms of like, she did get 2 clues out of her, but I'm happy to be free of her. Now we do have to worry about their Reanimator plan. Like they could just reanimate her. They have 6 freaking cards in hand. They have an Underground Sea in hand. Or an island rather. Okay, no plays. Interesting. I do want to Thoughtseize. I think I'm going to do it just in case they do have like a Bowmaster or something. They could entomb here. There's nothing I can do about that. I can only hope to fight the reanimation effects themselves. Holy cow! They have tons of interaction. Well, I have a lot of creatures. So they seem to be on a tempo deck and not a reanimator deck, is what I'm reading here. Well, I'm going to take the Fatal Push. I'll start taking these. They can only push one thing at a turn. They'll probably push the Orc Army because it's the most imminent threat. I mean, I could like high roll into a second, like double Daze and keep this alive. And that would make their life a little harder. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to see if I can high roll into it. They probably have their own. Yeah, we don't have a double Daze here, but drawing another Bowmasters is quite nice. So their hand is all removal. I'm just going to keep the Daze just as a comfort blanket here. I'm going to definitely Bowmasters next turn just to keep the pressure on, and then I'll Nethergoyf after the dust is. Okay, that is going to work. Now I'm going to hit them for 5. They are still kind of like in trouble if they tap the clue. It's not free to do so. I will Daze the Shieldred's Edict for sure. Their hand is Fatal Push, Shieldred's Edict. I think we saw an Underground Sea there. So now they can kill both of these this turn cycle if they want. Yeah, I will Daze the Shieldred's Edict here, if that's what they're going to do. Just going to keep applying pressure here. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to just attack. Nethergoyf will have to finish this off. If I imagine they are going to Shieldred's Edict here, so I'll Daze that. They could just take 4 and hope to stabilize, but I think that might not be correct. Clue. Okay, that's smart. I think that's totally fine. And now they're going to clear this. We're going to have a Nethergoyf. Their hand is 2 cards. Shieldred's Edict. Do they still have a Fatal Push? No, all 3 Fatal Pushes are accounted for. The card that they pitched, by the way, was Jace Reawakened. So I do think they're probably still on that same deck. And I think my Daze is probably completely useless. Here's the Shieldred's Edict. Yeah, it sucks. Okay. I am going to stop it in Tomb. I'm not going to stop this because I actually don't care. I want them to take the damage. Then I'll drop the Nethergoyf. They'll have to kill Nethergoyf multiple times. Oh, wait, yeah, I can't bring Nethergoyf back yet, by the way. But now they know they have to play around the, I don't know, it might cramp their style a little bit. But it's going to be big, large, and in charge. I think that might be the title for this video. All right, we got it. We got it. That was a mulligan. We were on the draw. From disadvantage, we fought. Nethergoyf is a soldier. Orcish Bowmaster, of course, clutch. So I think regardless of whether they're Reanimator or not, I think we bring these in. I suspect they are Reanimator. I think we could probably cut a couple Fatal Pushes. I mean, they do have Tommy. We got some serious value on the Tommy. Like just having all those, maxing out on the Orcish Bowmasters. I'm going to cut some Dazes. They are a patient player. Like as evidenced by the fact that, wait, did they know that I had a Daze in hand? They did not know I had a Daze in hand when they decided to clue crack instead. They took the damage, and I think that is symptomatic of like a very skilled player, that they knew that like they would rather take 4 damage. I think it was like 4 damage, and just be sure that the spell resolved, but through a Daze, than risk the Daze. So yeah, my compliments to my opponent. I mean, they're clearly doing bigger things. I think cutting a push is probably okay. We didn't see Bowmasters. We have answers to Bowmasters. I don't really care that much about Tomio because Like I do have these, and I also have Brazen Borrower if she gets too squirrely, too riley. What is the term? Rowdy? Too uppity? I'm not sure. I hope none of those expressions are offensive. I'm just trying to think of random stuff that I hear people say. Yeah, Borrower, Kaito. Mockingbird can mock a Tamio. Can help us achieve Bowmaster supremacy. However, this may not be the matchup for that. We didn't see a lot of creatures on their side of the table. Yeah, I think it's probably better than a Daze though. All right, I'm going to do it like this. Nethergoyf closing. 1 mana, 4/5. Potentially 5/6 in this deck. Or 6/7 actually. This is a snap keep. This is such a good hand, it's not even funny. Obviously, it's not a great hand, but it's like it. I think we're going to be able to do a lot with it. I'm not going to fetch basics. There's the Entomb. We can't do anything about that. We'll have to strip the reanimation effect or top deck a... yeah, that's a terrible top deck. I'm going to try to strip the reanimation effect. And if they had kind of like a nut draw with a Daze or anything like that, we're dead. Okay, we can take the Animate Dead. That's the obvious take here. The Jace Reawaken looks freaking sweet, but I don't want to misclick. I'll admire it after this is done. Okay, we don't... Like, if Archon resolves the game... If he enters play, we're just dead. Okay, I accidentally dismissed the Jace. He's out there. He can't be played for like 2 more turns. Ponder. They have the Fatal Push for the first Bowmaster. That doesn't mean we don't want to send it, but we probably want to send it when they're tapped, if we have the option. Wasteland. That's fine. Jace does slot really nicely into a deck like theirs, but they can plot like, what's in... Oh man, come on. Yeah, I'm just going to keep jamming these. I'm going to blue Ponder. I'll save these fetches for when I find a Brainstorm, which will hopefully happen very soon. These are insane cards. I'll take them both. I don't want the Spellbomb taken out of my hand. Probably dead. Like, they're probably going to just reanimate something and kill us this turn, but like, let it be known that we do have a Spellbomb on top of our deck, and we are trying to go out with a fight. Brainstorm. Oh, they may not have it. I imagine they have 4 reanimates, 4 animate deads, maybe 3 animate deads. If they reanimate here, I'll just scoop. Okay, we're going to get a window. I'm going to lead with the Thoughtseize. That is the least important of these 2 spells. Okay. So we take the Jace. That leaves them top decking. I think Jace is... I mean, it's like a card advantage engine. It's not really a card advantage engine. I feel like Jace is probably better than Ponder. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to draw off this now Spellbomb. Wait. We could just float it out there and see if they have the card. I don't think they're going to have anything that can stop it. Yeah, there's no reason to go ahead and use it yet. So their hand is Fatal Push, Ponder, Underground Sea. Our hand is much better than that. Even though I'm kind of bummed that we had these excess lands. Would be totally fine if we didn't draw any more lands for the rest of the game. This is fine. Again, like they could find that card that everybody's playing now, Shallow Grave, and then they could respond. This is fine. They're going to get my Bowmasters, unfortunately. Okay, their hand is Fatal Push, 1 unknown. Please give me something good. Okay, Fatal Push doesn't really do a lot here. I think we just chill. I don't want to play this Bowmaster out. I'd rather threaten Bowmaster than just get like a token and do nothing with it. Like that army is not going to be super helpful. I'll fetch and surveil here. That's fine. They have Fatal Push, 1 unknown, but it's not going to be a blue card. So I feel pretty confident I can just go ahead and do this now. Surveil. Tommy is exactly what you want in a situation like this. I can't play her out immediately. I need to get Bowmaster to take the bait. Actually, they know Bowmaster's in my hand. They might push Tommy. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play out the land. Yeah, if we get them to use the Bowmaster or the Fatal Push, then Tamio just takes over the game very quickly. I think that's what we want to do. We just want to chill and wait 1 more turn cycle. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it in step. There's also the possibility that I have like a Kaito and that this token does something. I do have 2 Kaitos in my deck. I would just be bummed if they had their own, but Bowmaster, but I feel like we do need to take the initiative here. That's pretty good. Let's come in for a hug. They may wait. Oh no, they have it. They freaking have it. It's so devastating. Yeah, I was hoping they didn't have it in their deck. I'm trying to think of what we do here. I'm going to let it happen. I'm going to keep this around. I can borrow the token out of play. Do I just want to borrow the token out of play now? So they have to take the damage? I think it's fine to do so. Okay. Now they have to take the damage. I'm just not going to... Like, if I crack this, it'll probably just be to... I think maybe we're favored. I don't want to crack this until I want to force them to have to put like a spell in the stack. I would love it if they traded here, but I can't imagine that happens. That'd be crazy. We could go ahead and play out the Tamio and hope that they fatal push that when it's not relevant. Like, because they may fatal push that. I think I'm just going to hold. Again, Kaito, like they're unlikely to block this. They're unlikely to push this. And if we get Kaito as Ponder, yeah. I don't regret anything I did. I feel like I needed to bait the Tamio out and they needed to have Bowmasters. And they didn't even have any in this list. Oh, they had 3 Bowmasters in the sideboard. 14 card sideboard. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's exactly what they're playing. Murktide is actually pretty scary now. I still think it'd be okay. They're going to keep that back. That's fine. How many Murktide did they have in here? 0? Yeah, because they're playing Abhorrent Oculus instead, which is another reason why I should probably nuke their graveyard. I think I'm going to go ahead and come in for a hug first. See what they do. Please push it. They thought about it. They're just going to let it through. Okay. I think we pass and we just instep this borrower. The other alternative is we could play the Tamio that doesn't even matter and see if they push that. I think that I'm up for that. I really don't care about Tamio at this point. Creating clues is great. I think they'll probably push her. We can play this out, but okay, they're going to push that. That's fine. And I'm just going to be very patient. They have it. Oh, this Jace Reawakened. Okay. So I'll just start attacking him. Odds of them having a Daze. We haven't seen Daze, but we can presume it's in there. If they waste here, I probably will just go ahead and play into Daze. I mean, there's a decent chance that this is our chance. They had the fatal push, but they have to turn it on. I'm going to do this because I can't hang back and just let them cantrip through their deck like this. I think they'll probably waste and fatal push, which is fine. So we are going to be able to at least hold Jace in stasis here. I'm not sure that was the correct play, but Nethergoyf would be insane. Force is not good. I guess I'm just going to attack Jace, and they're going to continue to cantrip. I'm really tempted to just fire off this Ponder, but it does cost me my token. They're hellbent. I'm really afraid that they're going to find, what's his face? The eyeball monster guy. Yeah, if I find a Nethergoyf is really good. That's what I'm looking for here. This is a shuffle. Come on, give me a Nethergoyf. I've got 4 of them. Ah, you're killing me, Smalls. I'm going to find a freaking Nethergoyf. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and crack this. You can call me impatient. I don't feel like we're winning the game if we just sit around here. They are going to find like the Abhorrent Oculus, or they're going to find something where we're going to be penalized. Okay, there's the Nethergoyf. That's what I needed. Okay, the graveyard's gone. Now I can play my Nethergoyf. He's big enough. What does this do? You may exile a spell. They can't protect. Yeah, they're going to have to protect him. 5/6. And I can keep bringing him back. I've got plenty of stuff in my yard. They put a waste in the yard. Fatal push him. That's fine. I'll bring him right back. It's not fine, but it's like I'll survive. Reanimating my Bowmaster. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay. It's still not enough blocking to stop me with my giant Nethergoyf. All right, come on. Another Nethergoyf. Yes! All right, we're going to go ahead and attack Jace, and then we are going to drop Nethergoyf numero dos. How valuable is that dude to you? They're probably just going to block with the one they reanimated. That's fine. What's worse than a Nethergoyf? 2 Nethergoyfs. I'll just hold this. I don't think it's valuable to play it out. Because if I do manage to clear, I mean, this is actually big enough to tackle the eyeball monster. I really wish I had my freaking Bowmasters. I'm glad they used the reanimate the way they did, though, because I don't like that kicking around. I think we're probably dead to but we got rid of one of their creatures. They do have Atraxa. If they Atraxa, the game's over for sure. We have a single Brazen Borrower left in the deck that deals with it. And we have Kaito, of course, which we could draw any day, which would be insane. I would be so excited if I drew a Kaito here. Ponder. Okay, they're just going to Value City here. Shuffling their deck. Getting whatever the heck they want. Maybe reanimating another Bowmaster if they'd like. I'll definitely exile my Bowmasters if I get a chance to bring a Nethergoyf back, just to reduce the likelihood of them reanimating them. But they're going to have a Bowmaster of their own to reanimate. They already used Jace this turn, I think. Oh, no, they're using it now. Okay, just dropping an island in there. I am going to kill him this turn for sure, unless they want to throw both of those in front of me. I could ignore him and just go for them. That's perilous. What does this do? You may exile a card. It's not that great. I think we do want to get rid of him. Just because they can chump with other stuff. Okay, double chump. Love it. Had I played out my lands earlier, I would have a Hardcast Force up, which would be quite good. Unfortunately, we're at the mercy of their reanimation effects. What's this? Until next turn, you may, whenever you cast a spell, copy it. You may choose new targets, so they could like Fatal Push and kill both of our creatures. I don't think they're going to want to minus him like that. Okay, that's totally fine. All right, he's dead this turn. I'll just attack him with both. I don't want him surveilling anymore or doing whatever it is that he does. Could we get a freaking land that does something, please? All right, well, we're going to double attack him. It sucks. I mean, if they have a Bowmasters, like they can just hold us at bay. Yeah, they have the Bowmasters. Shielders Edict. Okay, I'll sack one. If Jace goes to 1. They are hellbent. I'm going to bring Nethergoyf right back. Nethergoyf, and we're going to go 1, 2. Is this our only instant? Sadly, it is. But its instants are easy to replace. So these drops to 4/5s. Okay. Next turn, I will have like, I am going to play this land out instead of just holding it. How many? I mean, I think I have a swamp in my deck. No, I don't have enough land to Hardcast Force. The dream is a folly. I think it's probably worth just killing him. Oh, they have the Atraxa in the yard. That sucks. That really sucks for us. So let's do some math. So we have 2 underground seas and the undercity sewers in the yard. We're never going to get to Hardcast Force of Will, sadly. I want to attack with both just in case. Well, what could they have? They could have a Bowmaster and that would save him anyway. Yeah, I'm just going to... I'll attack one of them and I'll attack one at Jace. No, I'm going to attack both of Jace in case they have another removal spell. It sucks, but we have to take our medicine here and just get him off the table. This is a Bowmaster. Echoing Truth? You got to be kidding me. Who plays freaking Echoing Truth against a tempo deck? That's crazy. All right, well, we'll replay our army. My goodness, this Jace just will not die. I mean, like, they're not getting any closer to winning, but like literally any reanimation effect, and they've got Atraxa, and we're just dead. It sucks. Oh my goodness, I'm not freaking playing through this. Yeah, I can't play through this. It's so frustrating. All right, whatever. Sorry, my excellent friends. I'm not behaving. This behavior is not becoming of an excellent one. All right. Yeah, I don't think we make any change. Well, on the play, I am going to Daze. Man, Fatal Push felt pretty stinky there. I think I bring Mockingbird back in. Mockingbird would have been relevant there. Wait, Mockingbird wasn't even out. I'm going to bring in my Dazes, and we're just going to try to tempo them. Yeah, that definitely sucked. So we're just taking out all our Fatal Pushes. Is that correct? No, that can't be correct. There's no way that's correct. When we take out the forces feel bad, but it's a combo deck. I think we just drew terribly. We did eventually get the Nethergoyfs we were imploring our deck for. Yeah, we have to keep some Fatal Pushes in, even though they suck here. Just because maybe we cut a Wasteland. Yeah, I think we probably do that. Maybe we just cut 2 Wastelands. We are going dangerously low on mana sources if we do that. I'll just do it like this. Yeah, this deck won't die. They keep banning stuff out of it, and people keep iterating on the shell. But this is not a keepable hand, unfortunately. I'm not going to keep this on the strength of the combo plan being locked down. I need actual mana. Yeah, okay, this is good. This is good. I'll take this. That'll do, deck. That'll do. So we'll put back a land, and we'll just fetch on basics. I'm going to do that. And I'll start with a Thoughtseize. And we'll hope to snag their unfair stuff. 9 minutes. That last game was like 20 minutes long. Swamp, Thoughtseize. We're going to take their Bowmasters. We're going to take Animate Dead is fine. I don't care about that. I'm going to take the Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'll take the Thoughtseize. And then I'll hope that we can deny them turning Animate Dead on. But like if they Thoughtseized our Orcish Bowmasters, they could just bring it right back. I do think Thoughtseize was the right take there. They don't have a Fatal Push. I think it's fine to get on the board with Tomio here. I know they don't have a Wasteland, but I just want to live in the world where, you know, we just don't have to worry about Wasteland the entire game, basically. We really don't, unless we want to try to multi-spell or something like that. They are probably just going to brainstorm here and try to find an Entomb. I think they have Polluted Delta in hand, but they're probably going to put that back. They may Fatal Push this. I wouldn't mind flipping her. I'm going to go ahead and attack first. I'll ponder while I can do it underneath. If I can find a land, then I will just flip her. Now Spellbomb is exactly what we need. I think I'm going to attempt to resolve it. It is safer to just Thoughtseize. Yeah, I think I Thoughtseize first. Take the, see what they have in hand. Because I don't want this to get dazed. It's too important to get dazed. Looks like they may daze it anyway. They're going to entomb. They're entombing, so I can take the Animate Dead unless they have a second reanimation effect, which would be incredibly tilting. Yeah, this sucks. I really hate Entomb. Like, there are a few cards. Yeah, I'm so tilted. I'm so freaking tilted. Like, had I put the other thing in my hand, yeah, that was... I do think, like, I didn't want it to get dazed because I was like, if we just have an extra turn, what can we do here? Archon's coming down. I'm like really, really tilted here. It's just so frustrating. I don't know that I've been this frustrated. Like the previous game was incredibly frustrating for me, and now this is incredibly frustrating. Knowing that we've like been playing pretty disciplined and we've got a lot going on, and we're just going to lose to freaking Reanimator for the nth time. Whatever. Welcome back, my excellent friends. I just have a few comments about the previous round. First of all, thank you for your patience with me being tilted. I wanted to leave that in. I didn't want to edit that out because I want you to know that I'm a human being, and sometimes I get emotional, I get tilted, and I make irrational decisions. And I do believe I should have continued that game. What I should have done was just taken the Reanimate and hope that they didn't draw land, hope that they thought I had some sort of disruption like a Daze or a Force, and that they didn't just go for it. I think probably 75% chance they just go for it. But if they hadn't, I would have been able to draw the Nile Spellbomb, put it on the table, and then probably been insulated from their graveyard strategy for the rest of the game. So I do believe it was a big punt for me to get emotional and scoop when I didn't need to. And I bet you, if you're listening to this, you've probably been there before. Well, I want to just encourage you to lose the game, but don't lose the lesson. The lesson here is that if you can keep your head cool, you have a small but possible chance of winning. And I'm like a Reed Duke diehard. Like, I don't want to concede games where I still have any real prospect of winning. And I think I threw that one in that. So we're going to jump right back into round 3, but I wanted to say that, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Round 3, we're 1-1. We are up against a likely Delver player. This does not have access to Basic Island. This Thoughtseize is pretty bad. So is this Force. I am going to pitch this back. I want a hand with probably like Nethergoyf, Cantrip, access to basics. This does have access to Underground Sea and double Nethergoyf, which is good for sure. Fatal Push is obviously like really good against Delver. They are probably on the Quarry Steel plan. I think I'm going to put back the Bowmaster because I'm almost certainly going to need to ponder through a Wasteland and try to find more lands. So it may be a few turns before I can cast this. I am going to have faith in double Nethergoyf. I think Nethergoyf is really strong against Delver just because it quickly gets out of bolt range. They played Delver twice this week to 5-0 finishes, I believe. Or not to 5-0 finishes, but they played in 2 different challenges. Is this the same challenge? I think this is a duplicate record. They also play Nadu, but they've been playing a lot of Delver. We'll see what they're playing. Oh no, they're playing freaking this again. All right, we're dead. Unfortunate. If I kept the previous hand, this wouldn't be a big deal because we had both Thoughtseize and Force of Will. We probably would have been able to get through this. One of the challenges with playing Control is you just have to kind of like be ready to answer anything. And Delver, you probably get wasted, and you don't want to be Thoughtseizing, you don't want to be forcing, and then you have decks like this where that's precisely what you need to be doing. Therapy, they're going to name Goyf here. So we're starting with a 3-card hand. Not great. We can bring these Goyfs back. I doubt they play Wasteland in their Cabal Therapy Unmasked deck. That's not the worst thing that could happen. This is a terrible draw. I don't have anything to cast. I'm just going to play this out just in case they have a Wasteland. I don't want to lose my one land. I think the odds of us winning this game are like 5% or less. We don't even have main deck Nethergoyfs or now Spellbombs. I stopped playing those because I don't think it's correct, and I really love the space that we're afforded in not playing them. I am going to play with this because they've seen the other one. I don't think they're likely playing Underground Sea, but I don't want them to know that I have like nothing going on here. So one of probably 12 reanimation effects and the game is over. All right, let's end the game. I'm not going to wait and yeah. I mean, functionally, Gristlebrand hitting the table with your opponent having more than 7 life, the game is over. Just like Atraxa, unless you're playing Plow in your deck or like some really big control deck, you're not going to be able to fight through Atraxa. I don't think this deck can ever fight through Atraxa. I think the odds of us winning with Atraxa hitting the table or Archon or anything is probably less than 10%. And that's assuming that that's the only thing that's going on. Okay, so now Spellbomb definitely comes in. I like Force Negation in this situation. Fatal Push can come out completely. I know that they may juke to creatures, but we do have, Kaito and Bowmasters. Like, we're not completely cold. I think Wasteland's going to be atrocious here. We don't really need the Wastelands. I mean, I'd probably much rather cut the Wastelands than cut basically anything else. Maybe we keep one in, but then we need to cut something. I'm going to cut a Mockingbird. I think it's unlikely that is relevant. It is a blue card for Force, but that's the extent of its relevance. Also, a lot of these decks, I mean, technically Orcish Bowmasters is good against Gristlebrand, and that is a reason to keep it in. Nethergoyf helps close quickly. If we do stop their volley, we do need to close the game. In terms of blue cards, we don't actually have that many. We have 26, 28. Okay, I guess that's all right. It's not perfect, but I'll take it. Thoughtseize. I mean, we could argue that Thoughtseize doesn't belong in the deck, but we're on the play. I'm going to cut the Thoughtseize on the draw. Yeah, I'm going to leave them in. I just want to be certain to stop them. Okay, this is a keep. We don't have Daze access, but we just drop the Spellbomb, and then we have Force Negation for if they attempt to do a sneak attack type victory. Then Nethergoyf comes down and pretty quickly closes. Tommy is definitely Force Pitch. We could use her to like outdraw our opponents. But now that we have the Nile Spellbomb, maybe we do need multiple Nile Spellbomb to overpower what they're doing. That is a downside of Nile Spellbomb versus Grafdigger's Cage, is it does go away. But when you're bringing back your Nethergoyfs and you're also buffing your Nethergoyf with the artifact, I think Nile Spellbomb and Nethergoyf were made for each other. I don't know what they're going to do here, but I'm going to let it happen. This Thoughtseize will resolve. So I'm almost certain they're going to take Force Negation if they care about like really winning. I don't see how they would win. Like, because Force Negation essentially represents like another I win card that they have to have. So essentially their deck is, 4 cards that say set up the me winning, and then 12 cards that say I win. That's like their functional text when you're reanimating a Gristlebrand. So that's interesting. I don't agree. Okay, therapy, sure. So what they're going to do is they're probably going to therapy our Goyf then, and I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't take the Force Negation. I'm not going to force this. It's tempting to, but they're only going to get 1 card, and we'll see whether they have a creature they can flash back the therapy with. If they're using, okay, they chose the Daze. Okay, and they're burning off the other mana. So that was a very, I guess, like card inefficient thing. They got 2 of our cards, and they spent like 3 of theirs. So we just need a blue card. Nethergoyf definitely comes down here. That's a good draw. I'm going to go ahead and play this out. Goyf. Now we have, so what I think the reason they're playing Therapy is because they can flash it back with the creature they're sacking off of Shallow Grave, but in my mind, like that doesn't even matter. This could be Show and Tell. Stronghold Gambit. I will just force that. So we can trust that their last card is some sort of creature that they wanted to put in with this. All right, we got very lucky that we drew that Daze. I am going to go ahead and hit this here. I'll just hold this in hand. I'll start hitting them for 3 each turn. This way, like they can't feel fully confident that I don't have something in hand. Like I'll try to get 2 cards in hand, and then they have to trust, or they have to be concerned that I might have force. So all they need is another Stronghold Gambit. We need a creature in hand. That's one of the reasons they went for Tomio there, is they were planning the Stronghold Gambit since the Now Spellbomb was out. And if I'd revealed that, then we would have just gotten that. I think it is worth playing this out because this represents Surveil trigger. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and Surveil now. Just in case I can find a sorcery to do more damage. If I find a Spellbomb, I will bend that as well just because it'll further buff the Goyf. And our opponent is unlikely to get a critical mass. Yeah, I'm going to bend that. Is that correct? I think so. It's not what we're looking for. We're looking for more Now Spellbombs, maybe. More creatures for Stronghold Gambit. So they're on like a 3-turn clock if they don't do damage to themselves. Or if they do damage to themselves through Bloodstained Mire or Thoughtseize or anything like that. So we're just hoping to dodge. But now that this card is in hand, for all they know, this is a creature. Atraxa in the yard. So now we are going to have to pop this if they have a reanimation effect. We can actually kill over 2 turns because we can attack for 4 here, and then next turn we can crack this to attack for 5. I'm not going to show what's in my hand. If they Stronghold Gambit, I'll wipe their graveyard and I'll hope to draw a creature. It's worth noting they do have an instant speed card, so I'm not like completely safe in wiping their graveyard. I'll wait until after like the damage step and then I'll do it. Because they don't have any cards that gain life. So I'm setting a stop here in their damage step. Wait, actually I need to do it in the block step. I think, because I think the damage step may be after damage. This will be the 5th type. Okay, we got lucky that they, because we whiffed seriously. All right, now we have to win on the draw, which is a lot harder. I'm going to take out the Thoughtseizes. Like Thoughtseize would have been a terrible card there the entire game, basically, because all they had in hand was some sort of monster they were trying to put in there. Cards that come in, I think Hydroblast is okay. They're playing Stronghold Gambit. And it is a blue card to pitch to force. I think we can bring in another Wasteland. They are playing quite a few lands that are wasteable. All right. Yeah, I'm not like thrilled about Hydroblast, but like if, you know, most people aren't playing Faithless Looting, which I think is a pretty good card. I mean, it's like a recurable discard effect. It seems pretty solid. This is a decent hand. Like it would be better if we had Graveyard Hate, but just having a density like of counter magic, like they'll have to discard us 3 times to get through all this. And we have a Nethergoyf. And again, I want to emphasize Nethergoyf is very strong against combo in a counterintuitive way in that he closes very quickly. If we were trying to close with a Murktide, we wouldn't even have the Murktide on the table until like turn 4. But Nethergoyf comes down turn 1 and just immediately starts beating. Okay, so first question, do we let this happen? I think it's okay to do so because our hand is overdone it. I will. Oh, they exiled Spoils of the Vault, so they may be on the plan. What is the name of the card? Witherbloom Apprentice, Chain of Smog. They may be on that. I think they're likely to take the Force here. The Force of Will. Maybe they have some instant speed. Like we can't stop the reanimation effect that's instant speed with Force Negation, unfortunately. Yeah, there's the Payu. So I think a Chain of Smog is in our future here. I cannot allow this to happen, unfortunately. I have to force this. It sucks, but they've seen our hand. All right, we've got a Force Negation left. They can potentially deal with sorcery speed stuff. Yeah, that is very unfortunate that they had exactly that card. And we drew an amazing card for us to have. So I'm happy about that. I'm going to go get the Underground Sea here. And I'm going to hope that they don't have any more discard effects because we are running out of tricks. Like this is, I'm not going to complain about Entomb. They're never going to ban Entomb. I'm convinced they'll never ban it again. It used to be banned. It was banned for like 12 years. And then they decided to unban it. Unfortunately, this is going to name Force Negation. Will that happen? It sucks. It sucks that they have this much discard and that Cabal Therapy can hit multiple cards. But I mean, if this were just like a Thoughtseize effect, I mean, I would definitely let that resolve. They did name the Force Negation. Do they have the win? They won't have the win this turn, but they could absolutely have it next turn. Here's hoping we draw a blue card. We don't draw a blue card and they know it. I think we need to just go ahead and apply the Bowmasters here. I don't think we have the luxury of faking it. If their last cards are Entomb, Reanimate, we just lose. They know it too. Yeah, and maybe it's correct. Leave a comment with a timestamp if you're confident that it is correct to bluff that we drew a blue card. But in my mind, like the option of getting the Bowmaster down is well worth the risk of them going for it next turn because it does shut down their most powerful card. They're probably going to put a fatty in here right now. Watch this. Okay, thank goodness. Yeah. And they couldn't go for that because of the Bowmaster. But now that the Bowmaster is in, we're not going to have that option anymore. I think it is correct to play at the Bowmaster and just hope to draw, like a Tamiyo would fit the criteria of both being a blue card for Force and a creature we could put in with Stronghold Gamut. Well, actually, I don't need to worry about them instant speeding Gristlebrand because he's not in their graveyard. So this is my window. And then we shouldn't have to worry about Gristlebrand for the rest of the game. They'll have to go get something else. Probably a Traxa. Let's get this just in case. Stronghold is a sorcery, so we don't have to worry about it this turn. We do get a draw step. That's a great draw. So now we just have to hope that they don't have exactly Stronghold Gambit in hand. We could always crack this to draw and have a card to pitch to Force in a totally desperate situation here. Yeah, they're going to try for the combo. And you never counter this. You always counter it because they might die. It's actually extremely crazy to me that people are playing this card because the odds are you're going to die. They did find it within 4 cards. They got Gristlebrand. They named Gristlebrand? Why? I've got the freaking Bowmaster. All right, unfortunately, we are going to need to draw a card here. I'm not going to let this go off. Yep, they're going to get their Gristlebrand in play. They can't draw yet, but they can block indefinitely or reveal the Force that's already been revealed. So they're at 9. I mean, they're going to gain a bunch of life. I think we're going to just die to this thing. Borrower. We need exactly Borrower. They haven't seen the swamp, so I can play this out, and I'll just chill, and we're going to take a bunch of damage. We'll swing back. We've got like basically 3 turns. If they can get rid of our Bowmasters, then it's fewer than 3 turns. Get used to playing against this deck. This deck is not going anywhere. This will be with Legacy forever because Wizards refuses to ban Entomb. They are targeting me. I'm not going to copy. I want those cards that are in their hand to stay in their hand. They're going to gain some life here. I'm trying to think about a situation in which we'd be able to race them. I can't think of one. We're dealing less than 7 damage here. I'm going to go ahead and surveil. This does not change the clock. If we can find Borrower, that's very good for us. We've got a few looks. Kaito would also work. So Ponder increases the looks for Borrower, but it also decreases the likelihood that we just draw Kaito and naturally cast him. The odds of doing either one are equal. They're both, but we could play Kaito next turn and still potentially survive. I want to max the likelihood of finding the Borrower. I'm going to keep this for that reason. It's potentially 4 looks at one of those versus 2 looks over the course of the rest of the game. 5 looks total before we're dead. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. Finding another Bowmasters wouldn't be atrocious. Yeah, we're gonna shuffle this. None of this works. Tamiyo blocks for a turn, but it's just not good enough. And I can't take another Nethergoyf. Like we have to actually get rid of the Gristlebrand if we want to catch up. Daze doesn't do anything. We're just going to attack and pass. Okay, they're back down. They could go ahead and Gristlebrand here. I mean, no, they would have to win on this with the pings on the stack. I don't think that. Well, now they could after combat. I still think it'd be reckless to try it because they create a giant orc in the process. Okay, and they're not even going to try it. Okay, good game. All right. Losing twice in a row to Reanimator. to Entomb. I want to show you this deck that my opponent has been playing. It's freaking awesome. Baleful Strix, Bowmasters, Phantasmal Image, Nethergoyf, Broadside Bombers, Glasspool Mimic. I'm not sure about this card. And Pyrogoyf. And then the only spells are the 4 Brainstorm, the 4 Thoughtseize, the 4 Force of Will, and then 4 Aether Vial. So this is basically like super aggro Aether Vial build, where you just try to like level up your Aether Vial and hit them really hard. This deck looks freaking sweet. I hope they're playing this. They've also been playing a lot of Epic Storm. What they just showed me is not a Wasteland deck, so I'm going to keep this, and I'm just going to go get Underground Sea. I think this will do okay against the aggro, and against the Epic Storm, hope to ponder into something that interacts. Marshallats. You know what? I just noticed they're on freaking Yorion. I should have been more attentive. So they may be on like Esper Vial or some sort of Wasteland strategy. But they're almost certainly not on combo, because Yorion rarely goes into a combo deck because Yorion decks want to go long. They probably take out my Ponder if they see that I only have 1 land. They take the Borrower. Interesting. That is very interesting. Why would you take the Borrower there? I'm going to go ahead and get... I'm just going to be fearless here. I'm going to get this, and I could get completely collapsed, but we'll learn along the way. I want to get my clock going. They've already done 3 damage to themselves. Next turn we can Ponder. We can hit them for 3. Find a land. Maybe get our second Goyf out. I just love going Goyf aggro when I don't know what's going on over there. So Plains. This could be Prismatic Ending. This could be Plow. This could be a Bowmaster. I'm set up to be able to beat Bowmaster. I think I'm going to go ahead and Ponder and see if I can get the Bowmaster out. They know we have double Bowmaster. I need to get a land anyway. Okay. So, very scary. No idea what my opponent's doing over there. My instinct is to go ahead and just grab another Underground Sea here and drop another Goyf. We could Brainstorm, but I want to wait on that. As always, I cast my spells before I attack with the Goyf, just in case they want to interact with this somehow. Like Daze it or something like that, then I get the extra power. And I would be so happy if they dazed. All right, we're just coming in for 3. But we've got 6 power on the table, on the draw. Turn 2. It's not bad. Our Ponder worked out. We got the land. Karakas. I'm definitely, it's obviously Esper, but I'm getting Esper Val vibes. Leyline Binding? Really? Okay. So I guess it's like a 5-color pile. Like you wouldn't generally play that. Okay. Well, yeah, that's fine. You paid 3 mana and I paid 1. So I feel like I'm ahead. I'm going to Brainstorm first. This buffs the Goyf, and then I can shuffle away the Fatal Push. Wasteland's pretty sweet here. Mockingbird is also a Goyf. Daze is quite relevant. I'm going to put away the Fatal Push. I'm going to put away one of the Bowmasters. I'm going to waste their Underground Sea for sure. I'm going to drop another Goyf. The Nethergoyf becomes Nethergoyf. Love it. Is this too much pressure for you? Would you like to counter this? Let's come in. They are under some serious threat. Nethergoyf is a really good card. I know I say that like every game. Nethergoyf's a really good card. Nethergoyf is a really good card. They do have exile-based removal, which is the best thing to be doing against Nethergoyf. Lorien Cycling. It's hard to go back to Delver after playing with cards like Nethergoyf. They're just so much better than Delver Secrets. The only bad thing about it is it doesn't pitch to force. So they have 3 colors, so they can cast this for 3. So they can't even Leyline Bind here. Okay, so options. I think we just main phase this Bowmaster. And if they want to do something, that's fine. I want them to counter this because it puts them to dead. The main unfortunate thing about this is we won so decisively and so quickly that we have no idea what our opponent's on. I presume they're on like some sort of 4-color Beanstalk pile, but I don't get the vibe that they have a lot of creatures. So I'm going to take these out. I'm going to throw on Beanstalk. They may be on Murktide. I don't know that it makes sense to bring in Harbinger. That's an easy one. Yeah. When you're up against like a 3 or more color deck, I think Harbinger's safe. I kind of think Force Negation's okay. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I think it's very likely they bring in Carpet here. I don't know about Engineered Explosives, though. I think I'd rather Force Negate a Carpet than spend 3 mana getting rid of a Carpet with an Engineered Explosives. So I think I'm going to just run it back like this. Yeah, and this is one of the things about playing blue-black tempo is you do just going to kind of shred the rogue decks out there. Like if a deck doesn't have a very cohesive, strong thing that it's doing turn one, like Reanimator, extremely linear deck, or it's just putting a fatty in the graveyard and reanimating it, like they don't have a lot of time to figure out what to do. And the fact that this deck, unlike Delver, like also squeezes them on the hand disruption axis, I would say like it's not an exaggeration to say Thoughtseize is the reason to be playing black instead of blue-red. I think that Thoughtseize is incredible right now. They may be playing Daze. They've mulliganed. Okay, Misty. So I don't know what they're doing over there. I'm going to lead with the Undercity Sewer. My reasoning is this gets us further into our deck, and then we can have Protected Tamio next turn, which I think is going to be important. I am hoping that is going to stay there. Yeah, I definitely want to Thoughtseize them, but it is going to be a turn before I can Thoughtseize them. They're already down to 5 cards. I'm going to have to force a Beanstalk for sure. Once we've Thoughtseized them, we can decide how to deploy Tamio. I think I'm going to keep this. Because, we could be slower with Tamio. We could Ponder next turn instead. Thoughtseize Ponder. I am pretty confident that I'm going to be forcing a Beanstalk this turn, though. And if Beanstalk resolves, like, it's just a game piece for the rest of the game. If they had Beanstalk in their hand, maybe they don't put Leyline Binding back. Thoughtseizing me, by all means, do damage to yourself. Probably take Force. Now, I am concerned that my Thoughtseize is going to run into, what's it called? Veil of Summer. I have the option of just brainstorming right now first, seeing if I can find like a Daze. That'd be good. Then Thoughtseizing. And I'm doing this, like if they Daze it, it's not that big of a deal, but oh yeah, we found a Daze. This is perfect. Perfection. We don't need this land. I'm going to put that back. What else are we going to put back? I think we put back Ponder. I mean, it would be good to cast it, but we're going to get the sorcery this turn anyway. Yeah, I'm going to do it like that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and aggressively Thoughtseize them because I suspect they have Veil, and I don't want them to be able to cast Veil next turn around Daze. I want them to at least have to force my Veil. Or force my Daze. And like it would be sweet to get the Nethergoyf in. Don't get me wrong, but I just want to peek at their hand. They may be slow rolling a Beanstalk and I need to strip it. Some seriously cool cards in this hand. Overlord, very good. Can't be returned. Everything else can be returned to Overlord. Slogurk. Land comes into play. Is put into your graveyard. Put 3. Return it to his owner's hand. When Slogurk is return up 3 target lands from your graveyard to your hand. They only have 1 in their. They're gonna have a second one here. Yeah, I think I take the Overlord for sure because they can cast that next turn around Daze. The other ones, they can't. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, and now we just pass. So what we're going to do here is we're going to Daze. They're going to Surveil again, I bet. Yep, Overlord is awesome. I have lots of videos with Overlord. I love him. But I don't love him against me. He's too good. Slogurk, please. I can Daze that. So let me just make sure. There's no way to bring this back from the graveyard. Yeah, I don't want them getting card advantage or getting land advantage. I'm just going to Daze this. They have Solitude, 1 unknown card in hand. So now I'm just going to start sticking threats. Stick Tamio, and I'm going to stick Nethergoyf. Let's just overload them. I don't even care about saving Tamio. I just want to start dealing damage. And if they want to like get Yorion, pitch Yorion to Solitude, that's like perfectly fine with me. They have a way to naturally remove it, that's okay too. I have Bowmasters, that's the threat I really want to stick because that like potentially disrupts them in its multiple bodies. All right, and we made it through. Tamio's safe now. Don't be on another land. This card's irritating. Yeah, I'm going to let it happen. We don't quite have enough to double Bowmasters. If they attack, I can Bowmaster Ping and kill it. So I'll just wait for that opportunity. Let's go ahead and come in for a hug. So they're taking 3 here. They can hit our clue when they attack. There's their own Tamio. That's fine. That means that they don't have access to Solitude. So this turn is pretty prescribed. They're going to hit our clue, but we're going to kill the Felia. We can't let it live. Oh, they're blinking that. That is totally fine. I'm just going to ping and block. I don't believe I'm missing something. Their hand is Solitude. All right, Fellia down. They should put Yorion in their hand. Looks like that's what they're doing. Then they'll have Solitude up. Okay, she comes back. I could just Thoughtseize, but that... I mean, that forces them to go ahead and do something here. They'll probably just have my Goyf. Is it beneficial to Thoughtseize at all? I think I just attack. This does stop... Well, let's see. Yeah, there's nothing I can do here. I'm just going to attack. Okay, they block. So I could Thoughtseize. They may try to hit my Tamiyo, and then I can Brainstorm in response. And if they hit anything else, that's fine, because everything else is... Oh, they let it happen? Okay, well, I'm going to take the Solitude. And now I think I just pass with Clue and Bowmaster up. Okay, the scoop. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, this is a nightmare matchup for them, because we're applying so much pressure, disruptive pressure as well. Thoughtseize, Bowmaster. And that's basically how we want the games to go. See you in round 5, the final round. We are 2-2. Final round, we're up against an unknown opponent on the play. I'm going to keep this. A wise person once told me that if you get pressure on the table, your opponent's not going to waste you. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and grab our Underground Sea here. We're going to get Tamiyo out. I could wait and see what they're on, but I just want to start creating clues because we have these Wastelands that we can tap. They don't really do a lot if they're on, a deck that doesn't have non-basics. Every turn that we attack and then waste is a turn that we're getting a little bit farther ahead. Scariest thing they could do would be like just remove her real quick. Okay. Maybe Omnitell. Just having the island from hand is uncommon. I am not well set up to handle Omnitell, unfortunately. I mean, the deck is incredibly well configured to beat it, but like my hand currently doesn't do a lot against Omnitell. Okay. I'm just going to come in for a hug, and then I'm going to play this Wasteland, and I'm going to chill. Please cast an Orcish Bowmaster. Okay, is this Doomsday? Always pause, even if you don't have a force. My instinct is to go ahead and go for the Bowmaster here. They could be on freaking Reanimator again. Yeah, if they were on Doomsday, they would not do the way they did. So I'm thinking this is probably blue-black Reanimator. I think our best action is to go ahead and just deploy this Bowmaster. I don't think Brainstorming is correct here because Bowmaster could be like the last thing there and I wouldn't have black mana available to Fatal Push it. Yeah, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to let it resolve. I could also draw a card and maybe randomly spike a force, but that's unlikely. I'm just going to go aggro here. Okay, we're in. And now let's see the damage. If they have Entomb, I'm just going to not flip out because I took a good night's sleep and I've just accepted that Legacy is the degenerate format now. It's the new vintage. Another Dark Ritual. Okay, maybe they do have Doomsday. I would love for them to actually Doomsday here. Double Doomsday. Another Thoughtseize. Okay. They're doing a lot of damage to themselves. They are Doomsday. You're crazy. You just put yourself at 7 against Bowmasters. How are you going to win in time? And you know that I have double Wasteland. So you have to put like a pedal in there. This is going to be wild if my opponent can win through this. I don't know how they win without drawing cards. They have to win like very swiftly, like in one turn cycle, essentially. So what I'll do is I'll probably just waste and try to draw. Well, I'll probably activate immediately to draw a card and see if I can find. I don't know what I would find. A Thoughtseize. I mean, they have 2 cards left in their hand. A Daze would be good, obviously, because they're going to be tied on mana. I shouldn't say obviously, because nothing is necessarily obvious, especially if you're a new player. So I hope I didn't offend you there by saying obvious and you're like, oh, it didn't occur to me. No, obvious is like an expression that probably needs to drop from people's vocabs, including mine. Okay, so there might be some strategy that like I'm not thinking of where they can still win, or maybe they were just like so behind the windmill or behind the 8-ball when I cast the Bowmasters that they're just like, they're looking at their deck and maybe they don't even have a plan. I'm not sure, but I'm trying to think, like, consider would mill a card. They could such a fetch land pile. The main problem is like I get a swing, and after that swing, they have 5 life to work with, and they can draw I guess in theory they could draw cards, but they have to close the game quickly. And the ways that you draw cards, like there's Brainstorm, of course, which would be lethal basically, unless they can win the same turn. I like that Doomsday art. They've got like lots of different art for Doomsday, and I think all the art is rad. This one especially looks freaking fun. Can you imagine like you just summoned Juzam Jin into your bedroom and your whole house like it starts flying everywhere, and you're just like, what have I done? Oh no, half my life gone. Round it up. My deck gone, except for 5 cards. There's one art for Doomsday. It's like the 3 red orbs or 5 red orbs. Let me see if I can find it. So this is the OG art. This is what I have. Or actually, I had this. I decided I didn't like playing Doomsday. It's just not my style of deck. So I sold like basically my entire Doomsday deck to this really cool kid named Alex who plays. He's literally like a 13-year-old kid. He's probably older than that now. This is the Doomsday art I was talking about. Like, it just looks sick. This looks like the background of like a Doom level. And I love these 5 orbs, and this person just despairing, like, oh no, what am I? They've clearly been thinking really hard, and they're like, I immediately regret the consequences of my decision. I've never seen this art, but this is sick too. It's like a sun, like kind of like a Dark Souls thing going on, and just piles of skeletons. This is a proxy, but it still look pretty cool looking. I don't know. Actually, maybe this is just like CG or like AI art or something. Okay, we're done. I was just, well, this is a secret layer, Doomsday. It's pretty sick looking. Like the giant orb just bearing down on the planet, like Majora's Mask style. Oh, and this art, just the bat on top of the building with the freaking Eldrazi horns in the background, or whatever these are, the nickel bolus horns. Pretty sick. I don't like this frame treatment. It's really hard to read. I optimize for legibility, except for when it comes to retro frames. Okay. So our opponent has made their decision. So I always do the BCD FOP, Buffalo Chicken Dip, FOP. So just imagine somebody's overdressed at the Buffalo Chicken Dip. Okay. Fortune Teller's Talent. This is a cool card. I've seen this. This is a really cool card. These weird art lotus petals, candy trail, interesting. So, all right. So maybe they don't use cyclers. I don't see any cyclers in here, but it wouldn't make sense to have, like, the heck are they going to do? I'm worried now. They might try to tendrils to gain some life. I'm not sure. This is like a storm type build, I think, with the Fortune Teller's Talent, because you can cast cards from the top of your library. You can play them actually, so you can play lands too. So BCD, we can just count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4 brainstorms. C stands for cyclers. I don't see any. D stands for dazes. I don't see any. F stands for forces. I don't see any. Do they not have force in their deck? That's crazy. That's noteworthy. They're relying fully on Thoughtseize to protect them and Duress. I don't see any petals or an oracle. P stands for ponder. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I don't know what they have in their hand. I don't see. I'm not even sure if they're on Cavern. I presume they're on Cavern. They may have that Jace card. All right, we're going to see what's going to happen here. So they're passing. So we are going to draw. I'm just going to waste them, and then I'll play out the Wasteland they know about. I'll play out the Wasteland they know about, and I'm going to draw a card. Actually, I'll just draw a card like this, and I'll preserve the option of playing a different land if something better comes up, like a Thoughtseize. We're just going to play this, and we're going to waste them. And their fate is sealed. My fate is sealed too, depending. Like, I'm not going to make any real game actions probably for the rest of the game. This is probably my last turn. Can they beat this? They drop to 5. They have to get through their deck and cast Thassa's Oracle or Jace without drawing more than 4 cards and with only 1 mana. They could brainstorm. The pings, okay, they are Fortune Teller's Talent. Oh, they have a bunch of 0 drops. That's what they're doing. Petals. I didn't count any petals. So they can just play petal, petal, petal. And then, no, but they don't have the talent. They don't have the talent. Okay, you have to. It's not just 1 mana. You can. It's not a 1 mana Mystic Forge. You actually have to pay 4 mana to get the ability. Okay, interesting. Well, we are gonna. That kills them. I like that. Let's do that. Yep, this was a good draw. Get over here, Tommy. let's end this game. All right. We'll never know what their plan was there. In terms of things we can do here, I think the 4 forced negations come in. I think that's probably it. Again, like I will continue to preach forced negation. I know a lot of people aren't into it. We can cut. I think we just cut the 4 fatal pushes. I didn't see any creatures in there. If they bring creatures in, we'll just bounce them or Kaito stun them until we kill them. Mockingbird is blue for force. I think it's fine to keep it in. Nothing like a flying Nethergoyf. I would love to demonstrate that. I haven't gotten to cast Mockingbird this entire. I think he's always been pitched to force. He just wants to come in and impersonate somebody. When you're Mockingbird, every day is Halloween, which is a great Ministry song. All right. Game 2, final round. I don't think this is a keep. It doesn't apply any pressure. It does have disruption, sure, but I'm in the market for some pressure. This does it. Wow. So I think what I'm going to do here, so I'll just put back the island. I don't think that's going to matter, and we'll hope to draw another land. There's a good chance we're going to pitch Kaito before we even get to play him in for Nethergoyf. So again, this is like opportunity for Nethergoyf to get out and solo. What I'm going to do most likely, I'm going to let that resolve. That's damage. Count it. They bolted themselves practically. They shocked themselves. Can you imagine if like dual lands were banned and everybody had to play shocks like in Modern? How powerful cards like Nethergoyf would become? We could play them. Tempo decks could play them but my goodness. Like thank goodness these are actually like still legal even though they're fortune. I don't know what's in their hand, but I feel like Nethergoyf, or I feel like this is like the least of your worries. Force should probably be the one you chose because I can just draw another blue card and then I've got that answered. Like this is like a turn 4 problem, probably, likely. Like, am I actually even going to draw a land for it? They could just have the win in hand though, with like a series of petals. Chrome Mox, Candy Trail. All right. They can scry. They can pay 2 mana and sack that. So I'm just going to go Nethergoyf, and then next turn I'm going to fetch, surveil, bin something, and then I'll attack with an even bigger Nethergoyf. And I'll deploy the second Nethergoyf. So this game is very simple for us. That's a nice draw. And because these combo decks like rarely have any sort of interaction beyond Force of Will and discarding stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, I almost feel bad for them just like storming through there with my Goyfs, but don't feel bad for the combo players. They're all like laughing at you when they win. I mean, you saw the video where I turned heel and I played freaking Omnitell, and like I was just laughing my butt off. I mean, I was feeling guilty the whole time. LED, my goodness. All right. I doubt the last card in their hand is a Daze. I'm going to go ahead and play Nethergoyf first, just in case they like, I mean, they wouldn't. Yeah, and now I'm going to go ahead and just surveil. We're going to try to inflict as much damage as quickly as we can. This goes to the yard. I mean, it would be a good card to have, but like, I just want the damage now. I don't even care what happens, next turn. Like, I've got my 2 points of interaction. Like, this is how we're rolling. Combo players force you to play like this, by the way. This is not how I'd like to play Magic. I'd like to play Uro. Carnage Interpreter. When this creature enters, discard your hand and investigate 4 times. Well, I'd be willing to bet that if we Daze this, they will crack this. What does this have? This. So this is a 5/5. We can get up to 5/5. I believe. We just need an instant in the yard, which we're going to get right now from this Daze. Yeah, I'm going to force them to crack their LED here. They want to cast this, juke. They're going to have a lot of artifacts here. So they do it. They go for it. All right. So that was a very costly ritual. They had Kappa Cannoneer. That's terrifying. Thank goodness we stopped that. But we're already up to 4/5. We just double block this dude. Oh, wait. He is Menace, so we have to double block him. They've got a bunch of clues. They can crack one now. Yeah, I mean, it's a cool deck. Like, I've never seen this take on Doomsday before. I don't mean to sound like critical. My opponent's clearly like way in the woodshed here. That is a reference to, I think Charlie Parker like went into the woodshed and just played saxophone until he was like really good. So whenever somebody says woodshedding, like in music, that's what they're talking about. Right. Well, I mean, we're like, we cast this Ponder and we're attacking for 5 and we just ignore them. They've already gotten the benefit of this from the clues. I'm going to go ahead and drop this Just see what we get. That goes in the yard. Now I'm going to ponder. I guess I could have pondered first, actually, because then I might have seen something that I wanted. And then just been, yeah. Actually, I think, yeah, all these are fine, but we don't really need any of them. Bowmasters is pretty good. I don't want the Thoughtseize at all, but I don't know if the game will actually last that long. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to Thoughtseize, and then I'll just take the Mockingbird now, just in case they discard me, so I can have a guaranteed force effect. And then we're coming in. 10 damage off our 1/1s, or our 1-mana spells. Like, this is just incredible. This card is so freaking strong right now. If you haven't bought a playset, buy a playset. This is the new, like, Delver. Delver is not a blue-red deck anymore. It's a blue-black deck. And it's not just about ending the game. You have the option of ending the game, but you also have the option of just Tommy-oing and Kaitoing and playing control. Since my opponent's taking a while to decide how dead they are, I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think blue-black is such a powerful combination if you're like a control gamer like me, but you also want to be able to just stop combo in his tracks. All the mana abilities, like all the big mana stuff, is built into the cards. Tomio, she's a 1-drop, but you pay 2 mana and you get to draw a card. Yeah, that's fine. Nethergoyf, you pay... should I force that? I might have needed to force that. If you want a Doomsday to 4, they're trying to decide what to do here. They're gonna... Oh! So I should have forced that, but I don't think it's going to matter that much. So it sees itself. It becomes a 5/5. I'm going to have a flying Nethergoyf next turn. So they can attack for 5. I can just keep this back. They attack again for, I don't know, like 6, 7. But I have like these creatures in the air. I think I'm going to be fine. Yeah, I didn't think about the fact, like if I had been paying attention instead of waxing poetically about, you know, how Nethergoyf and Tomio are essentially 1-drop planeswalkers almost. This is like a planeswalker that, like, okay, your opponents lose a creature every turn, or your opponent takes like 5 life. They don't have an artifact to put into play, so that this is going to be a chump block. I'm just going to live in the world where they're going to take so much damage here that it's not going to be a big deal. And if they can somehow cast an artifact at instant speed. Okay, so they dropped a 3. Now we have to decide, do we want to Bowmaster them when they try to activate their clue? Or do we want to just... I think it's safer to Bowmaster here than it is to Mockingbird. Mockingbird is style. I can't imagine a way we lose if we Bowmaster a clue crack. Because then we'll have like... They'll be at 1. We'll have a double blocker. Yeah. Okay. So what I was saying about these, basically like... Tomio is your end game and it's your early game in 1. That's like, I think it's an overpowered card. I've been saying since it was printed, I don't think Tomio is going to survive long in Legacy. I think she will get banned sooner or later. When Frog and Tomio were banned, or when they were first released, I was like, both of these cards are going to be banned in 18 months. So far, it's been, I think, like 10 months, 11 months. And Tomio is still legal, but Frog is banned. So I was correct on that front. But I do believe that Tomio is so strong that she will eventually get banned in Legacy. And I did not believe that initially. It took me a few weeks of playing with her before I realized, oh, this card is completely broken. Because what this is this is an early game and an end game in 1. And it's 1 mana. You know, same thing with Nethergoyf. The fact that he can come back. If they didn't have the escape text, he'd be a pretty good card. People would probably be still playing him. But the escape thing comes up all the freaking time. All the time. Yeah, and it's just like, okay, he's coming back as a 3/4, but eventually he'll be like a 5/6 again. And, you know, that's bigger than pretty much any card in Legacy, including these cards that are basically Carnage Interpreter and Blastoise. Like, those are cards that are, the entire purpose is to be a big dumb beater, basically. Obviously, Carnage Interpreter, you get like some value when he enters and stuff, but yeah. And then, of course, Bowmaster just continues to be like an extremely flexible tool for taking these people out. And then Mockingbird, which we didn't get to cast. Again, the reason why this is in the deck is Orcish Bowmasters. If your opponent has a Bowmaster and you don't have a Bowmaster, guess what? Now you have a Bowmaster and they don't have a Bowmaster. It totally flips the script. It's Bowmaster number 5, essentially. And you can always like lay on additional Bowmasters with this as well. And if you need to keep applying pressure, a lot of times your Nethergoyfs aren't going to get there. They don't have flight. Maybe the Eldrazi player just put a bunch of spawn tokens in. Well, for 1 blue mana, you can have a flying Nethergoyf. How about that? Or you can actually copy your opponent's Tomio. Even though it will not flip, it's still going to generate a token every turn. It's just extremely flexible. So I love this deck construction. I'm disappointed we lost back-to-back games against Reanimator, but we shredded everything else. And I'm going to keep playing this. If you're looking for a tempo deck to play, I think this is the best one. Like, it doesn't necessarily have the 4 Thoughtseize. I know that I'm the only person playing 4 Thoughtseize, but I think Thoughtseize was never embarrassing, right? I did board it out against Reanimator, for example. But yeah, this list feels fine. We still haven't run into Chalice. I haven't actually run into Chalice in a long time. You could take these out, but I am a little bit worried. What if we do run into Chalice? Like, what's our game plan against Chalice? I guess if we ran into a Chalice deck, we could just board out more of our 1-drops. I'm already boarding out Ponder. I think Ponder's bad against Blood Moon decks, personally, just because, it's going to get Chaliced, and it's the least impactful, arguably one of the least impactful cards in your deck, other than the fact that it kind of like allows you to play such a low mana base, and it's a sorcery for your Nethergoyf. This is much more useful in decks like Doomsday or decks like Omnitell that are looking for a specific card. What are we looking for? We're not looking really for any one card, because our deck is like generic disruption, generic beaters that are just very effective at closing the game, right? So yeah, I would argue Ponder, like, people are going down to 3 Ponder in Japan and stuff like that. I think that's a mistake. I think Ponder's still very powerful, but it is very sideboardable in my humble opinion. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. I had a great time, even though it may not have seemed like I had a great time, especially round 2 when I tilted off. But I am having a blast playing Legacy. I think it's great to see the brews like what our opponent was playing. They weren't playing this list. Here, I'm going to show you that list again. A list like this with the Vial. I love Vial. I think instead of playing Glasspool Mimic, put freaking, what's this called? Like Eyeball Monster in there. Eyeball Monster is great. Pyrogoyf. I'm not really sold on this card. I mean, it's good, but it's 4 mana. I think, like, if you take out this and maybe you play 4 colors, and instead of Pyrogoyf, and Pyrogoyf is also one of those cards that's insane until they fatal push it. I'm not sure about Phantasmal Image. That is contingent on you having something out. But like having it copy Baleful Strixer and Orcish Bowmasters, not a single 1-drop in the creature slots. Like, this is intriguing. I've brewed ideas around this deck for a while, but I haven't had the guts to like pull the trigger and actually play it, because I do think that like just straight blue-black tempo is going to be better, because you have all the disruption. Instead of just playing Brainstorm, you also get Ponder, and instead of playing Force of Will, you also get Daze. Like, and Aether Vial is like the worst late game top deck, especially when you're playing one of these types of decks. Phil Gallagher, aka Threaben You, frequently says that he thinks Aether Vial is no longer legacy playable. It's been power crept out. And when your 1 mana spells like Nethergoyf and Tomio just do everything you need them to do by themselves, and you don't need any sort of enabler, I'm kind of inclined to agree. Anyway, I hope that was thoughtful. I hope you learned something here. Again, I'll repeat my thing that I said earlier. Lose the game, but do not lose the lesson. There's a lesson in every loss. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.